and very much thank you for the PCS for giving the opportunity to talk about peri-procedural sedation, mostly done by the anesthetist, but I will put the cardiac part here. So what is the ideal anesthetic in pediatric cardiac cath? No, it doesn't exist. There is a safe. It should be safe, easy to administer. There should be adequate sedation, amnesia, hemodynamic stability, fast recovery. But anesthetists can handle the drugs, but can't have an ideal anesthetic drug. So let me talk about some things which we can improve in our cath lab. One of them, the things is pre-medication. No, in our unit, we are using intranasal midazolam. It prevents the anxiety separation from the mother and child, and you can have a peaceful child in the cath lab when you're entering the cath lab. So a lot of people use different drugs. We have been using intranasal midazolam with good results. What about local anesthetics? When you start cath lab procedure in the cath lab, the local anesthetics can help to reduce the pain, to improve the hemodynamics during cath lab. Like one of the drugs which have been used by a lot of cath labs is topical anesthesia. By Amla cream or Pralox cream is the choice, and because skin is highest density of fibers are there in the skin in the epidermal tissue, and lidocaine can break this nerve fibers, can reduce the discharges, and can reduce the pain. Amla cream can penetrate up to 3 to 6 mm of depth. So you can start with Amla cream and then go for the local infiltration. Like how do we apply? 90 minutes application can give a anesthesia effect of 30 minutes duration. 2 hours application before the procedure can give a effective anesthesia for the 60 minutes duration, and there is no systemic resorption because the femoral artery is very deep. You are not worried about systemic resorption here. There is a study here which was performed by the team. There are 40 children were involved here, 20 in each group, topical Amla versus infiltration, and they found equal pain control, but Amla group had higher success rate because of the tissue geometry was maintained. If you can maintain the tissue geometry, especially in newborns, you can have higher success rate. There was a study in adults to assess the pain perception. Adults can give you a pain score very easily, and all patients received topical Amla cream followed by local infiltration, and around 93% of patients had excellent pain control. Only 7% had failed pain control, where you had different body habitus, the femoral artery was not palpable, you had to do multiple punctures, and only that in those cases you had a failed pain control. Our experience in our unit, in any procedure, we are applying Pralox cream. This is the brand available with us. We use the adhesive tape here to keep the cream there for 2 hours. And especially in neonates, we have found that even the local infiltration not needed. And if you can puncture the artery or the vein, the single puncture, you don't need to infiltrate with local injections also, because lidocaine, oral local lidocaine can provide a good anesthesia, and you can avoid the distortion in the surface anatomy. Now I will come to the systemic drugs in cath lab. There are multiple drugs available. I will go for a few drugs. Ketamine is a commonly used drug in cath lab. Adequate sedation analgesia. The best part about the ketamine is it prevents the apnea and preserves the reflexes. Adding glycopyrrolate can avoid the apnea and laryngospasms. And if you give a slow infusion over 1 to 2 minutes, you can avoid a lot of side effects of ketamine. The main problem is with the ketamine is interference with the SVR and PVR. But this has been found that if you can avoid the laryngospasm by adding glycopyrrolate, by reducing the secretions, you can avoid the rise in PVR, and this can be a useful drug. One of the safest drugs in hemodynamic unstable patients, because it doesn't lead to hypotension, bradycardia. It's a very good drug in cath lab. So from the Kaplan's cardiac anesthesia, they've compared midazolam, ketamine, and propofol, and you can see the ketamine ticks almost all the boards in rising. It increases the BP, increases the PA pressures, increases the PVR, but doesn't lead to bradycardia, hypotension. So in an unstable child, ketamine may be a preferable drug. it can interfere with the PVR and PA pressures when you're doing a single ventricular operability studies. But if you can avoid the secretions, you can avoid the laryngospasm, and PVR interference can be reduced. Propofol, the main problem with the propofol is fall in SVR by 15 to 20%. And that's why you can change the PVR SVR ratio by using propofol. Especially useful in acyanotic heart disease in bigger children. We're talking about like a large VSD and you're trying to operate. You can increase the PVR SVR ratio and you can reduce the QP by diminishing the pulmonary congestion. So propofol maybe for large VSD, large patients in bigger children can be useful. Recovery is pleasant in propofol. Caution with propofol, not to be used in severe AS and HOCM because it can reduce SVR, and especially in TOF patients where the PVR SVR balance is maintaining the pulmonary flow, you should avoid propofol. The main problem with the propofol is apnea and blunted airway reflexes. That's why it's not commonly used, not recommended in newborns, and not commonly used because of airway reflexes. Not to be used by the operator dependent. It has to be anesthesia drug. Midazolam, we are aware that the advantage is there's no effect on PA pressure and PVR. The main trouble is respiratory depression and hypotension. Dexmed, very commonly used in our ICU and the cath lab. Excellent sedative, analgesic, and anxiolytic agent. The main advantage is there's no risk of, almost no risk of respiratory depression. There is some reports of hypotension, but otherwise Dexmed is a very good drug, not to be used in pre-existing blocks. And slow onset of action, so it doesn't give a rapid response, has to be given infusion. There are few studies which have combined Ketodex and Dexmed because they cover the side effects of each other. They see the back of each other, like ketamine will prevent bradycardia and hypertension from Dexmed. Dexmed limits the tachycardia hypertension from ketamine. So they see the back of each other, and that's why Ketodex was found to be a very good drug. It's a good combination drug in the cath lab. Fentanyl is a commonly used drug where the anesthetic is not available because of the safety profile. But the problem in the PVR assessment, it can lead to chest wall rigidity, which is not physically seen, but there are chest wall rigidity with the fentanyl, and you can have a assessment of PVR or PA pressure wrong in such cases. So fentanyl in higher doses sedative, low doses analgesia. So you have to use higher doses of fentanyl to have a adequate sedation and anesthesia. Combination of sedatives and analgesics by the American Society. They have said that you can use them like phenylnitrile and midazolam combination, but use them individually. Use the drugs according to need. Like if you want to relieve pain, you add Fenta. If you want to reduce the movement, you add midazolam. But watch for respiratory depression. Both drugs lead to respiratory depression, and that's a trouble in the cath lab. When you have respiratory depression, the hemodynamics change. Yeah, the same thing they say, you should allow the sufficient time between the doses, let the child become stable in terms of hemodynamics, and then you go ahead for the procedures. This is a very important study where they have compared the sedation methods in pediatric cardiac cath lab. The European review in 2016. They had 4 groups: propofol ketamine group, propofol Dexmed group, Dexmed ketamine group, and midazolam ketamine group. 20 pediatric patients in each group. Age was 1 day to 12 years. And what they found, the lowest side effects were found in ketamine and Dexmed group. So this drug, where you can see the back of each other, were found to have lesser of laryngospasm, lesser of hypertension episode, and no episode of low cardiac index. Otherwise, all other combinations found to have rapid changes in PVR, hypertension, and bradycardia was noted in a lot of drugs combinations. So they suggest Dexmed ketamine group may be the preferred modality in hemodynamic assessment. The same group says that the side effects of group 3, Dexmed ketamine group, had very minimal side effects, and mainly with the oral secretions, which can be easily managed by glycopyrrolate. So the least good combination was Dexmed and ketamine group. Maximum the problems were found in the ketamine midazolam group because of hypotension and airway issues. This thing comes to the picture that when do you want to use mechanical ventilation for operability studies? There are a lot of units in West. They're using the mechanical ventilation because they say there's strict control of PCO2. Sorry. It can give a good control of PVR regulation, does not involve airway obstruction. Like if you have seen few cath reports where you have seen that after oxygenation, the PA pressure has increased, the PCO has risen. The main issue is not stability of by the anesthetic drugs. So mechanical ventilation may be a good option. And you feel the PVR issue is important to measure. I will come to the conclusion. No ideal cocktail anesthetic regime. Local Pralox cream may improve cannulation rate, may reduce the pain, and may change the hemodynamics. Ketamine, with or without dexmedetomidine in cath lab, is probably the safest drug, a reasonable option. Any combination is safe in the hands of experienced anesthetists. I would have acknowledgements. I had the company of Dr. Leena Joshi for presentation and for making this presentation useful for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.